And welcome everybody to Shadow of the Colossus Part 7. If you joined us last time, our horse is losing our mind, and apparently so are we.
Yes, the horse is losing our mind.
Yep.
We entrusted it to him, he just threw it into the grass.
If you want to break the fourth wall, I'm losing my mind because of that horse. But we just killed a man with a beard, and next we try to kill Tedium, and we fail.
Great. You bitch at me about Bomberman, well, here you go.
Okay, it's not that bad. At least there's a good visual instead of a spazzing platypus. I really want to see a picture now, fan picture of a Colossus being stabbed and the shock face platypus.
By the shock face platypus.
Yep. So we're fighting a Dairy Queen dessert, obviously. And this one is also, again, going to be taking the elements into a different direction. It's a very cool Colossus. In fact, it's one of the larger ones in the game. But as I described, a little bit more on the tedious side, and you'll see why. I'm behind you. And there he is!
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just go there myself this time. I don't need help. And I've never done this before. I've never just left the temple without the horse. So...
I imagine it's very freeing.
And it probably takes a while. But I hear the horse. He's right there.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm always behind you. So I'm just like...
What?
The funny thing is, like, he's chasing me, but as soon as I call his name, he's like, ugh!
I think that girl's bipolar or something.
I swing my sword in frustration. And beckon his name right into his stomach. Alright, so... we're going in the direction of all the other, Colossus tend to be. I guess the front of the temple or the back? I think the front. Where the long bridge area. But each segment we're doing is encourage us to go farther and farther away from the temple. Luckily, because of, powers not yet explained, we keep on getting transported immediately back to the temple, so distance doesn't really matter as much. But this is a good shot, because I'll actually take an opportunity to kind of momentarily show here. If you look down towards the right, if I can turn the camera, you can see the Colossus is right there. He's dead. The bodies will actually stay there, and as I mentioned, if you end up going up to the body, it offers you a speedrun challenge. Depending on how good I do at these certain ones, I might take them, but as I mentioned, in the case of, like, maybe this one, for example, speed is not definitely the game here. Now, don't turn off your video just because I said that. Stop that.
Well, they've turned it off by now.
Oh, fuck you guys then. Anyway. This one I don't get as lost. In fact, I'm not sure I get lost. Well, fuck it, I'm always lost, but I'm not that lost this time. If this thing didn't have the sword GPS, this would be a very difficult game.
If it had the sword GPS, would you be able to find any of them?
Well, Dorman would end up giving me more clues or something like that, but it's just saying it's near a lake when there's like 5 lakes everywhere. Yeah, whatever.
The second one was right near a lake.
A lot of games can lose it based on no sense of direction. This one just gives you enough direction, but at the same time, as I mentioned, it can get frustrating. Oh yeah, I do get lost. When I think lake, I thought, oh, third Colossus Lake? Yeah, no. So, going back.
You can hear aggro is just sick of this shit.
You're breathing harder. So, okay, this is definitely not a forest scenario. Luckily, I do know my way out. And we get another beautiful shot of the bridge and the temple. I like what they do with the shots at the distance. It just makes things look huge.
It's an impressive amount of draw distance.
And the thing is, it's not an image. It's not like something where I just took a picture of it. You can see it's actually a 3D rendering as we ride up to it.
Yeah, it's the actual texturing.
Keep in mind, this was a PS2 game to begin with. I'm playing on the PS3, but the only thing the PS3 really did with it was basically make the particle effects look a lot better. But graphically, even if you play the one on the PS2, it's gorgeous.
I think that's kind of what I was talking about, like in part 1 or 2, since they kept it to just the overworld, the Colossus, and you. They were able to focus on that.
And there was a primary focus definitely of scale. I mean, if you look at a lot of the art based on this thing, they make Wander look like a dot. And then, of course, Aggro looks like a slightly more clear dot, and then there's the surroundings with you.
A dot with legs.
True. What, mine didn't have legs? And then we deal with more kind of a... Makes it sound like we're near a beach or something, but I assure you we're not. The sense you get from this land, especially facing now... there's that temple we got to at the very beginning of the game. But what they give you this feel of is that we're surrounded by some kind of canyon wall that just traps everything in this place. And obviously it's very isolated, so... Nobody lives here, except for these giant things and lizards and birds and animals. But there's also this very much a sense of isolation, like this is a wasteland. Despite the fact of all the beauty of it. Especially points like this where there's no music, it's haunting how quiet this thing can get. Oh, another lizard! Fuck you! I was about to step on it. But we're about to get a clear shot of kind of where we need to go here. It's right over there. Which, anytime I don't have to ride my horse to fight a Colossus, I'm like, yay!
I was actually thinking in one of the earlier parts, would it be possible to build a little house around here? Since the Colossi are always off away from this main canyon. If you were to build a house and live out here, would you ever be troubled by any of them?
Hypothetically, they have the possible way of moving past these boundaries, but I think they kind of... These separate areas are the domain of that Colossus. So, possibly? Obviously, whoever lived here before is completely gone, either by death or they moved away. And I love leaping off the horse. It makes me seem awesome. Once again, little areas like this are just areas of saying, hey, you've actually made it. And there's a little shocky thing that gives us a clue what we're looking at here.
Dorman did mention, like, a thing of thunder lives under a lake.
That'd be funny if it actually did rhyme. The thing of thunder that it lives under. You're totally not cool, Dorman. I don't know why he sounds a bit like a really lame Macho Man. I decided to whistle my victory of doing that and doing some Legend of Zelda rolls. The roll becomes so important to figure out later in the game. One Colossus is a necessity. But this area is really just to get a good scope of everything, and I have a hard time figuring that out for some reason in my head. Where is he? I don't know. He's down there. There's something shocky. So I'm just trying to go, like, obviously I need to jump down there. Was there anything up here? And I forget there's no treasure chests in this game like most games, so...
It's the boss and you.
Yep. Best sitcom ever. Boss and me!
Boss and me!
And the life gauge comes up. Good sign that I'm probably going to die. But I could say out of most of the ones we fought through so far, this one definitely gives the feel of, hey, peaceful creature, fuck you. Because this thing looks badass. It looks a bit like a serpent dragon.
Yeah.
In fact, you can see it has that Eastern dragon feel of having the tentacles up front, like that. And beyond those little things on top of its back, it really doesn't present that much of a threat. But because it's water and that's electricity, no me gusta with that. Clearly, some of these guys, you know, especially to make this game have some sort of difficulty later in the game, it can't necessarily always be about how hard they are to reach, although this one is definitely a rule in that. They also have to have some kind of dangerous factor to them. In this case, those electric spines are very dangerous, and they can kill you quick if you get stuck near them. But he's staying underwater like an asshole.
Does make me wonder how far that electricity would reach realistically.
I'm sure you'd feel some kind of presence of it from here. In fact, you can see the water bit rippling around it. But I can't imagine it'd be so strong that it would affect the Colossus himself, so... Of course, the material these Colossus are made of is unclear at this point. As I've said, it could be some kind of beast, but sometimes to me it feels a bit like a piece of the landscape. Like it's made of rock and grass, and it bleeds. Which obviously doesn't make as much sense. So I'm going to do the usual tactic I do in these situations, and it's to annoy the shit out of them. Oh, that didn't work. Apparently, I forgot to get rid of these kitty arrows that float. So maybe I'll just annoy it some more.
The arrow did kind of bob up in the water like it was judging you.
Like, really? But see, a good thing this also shows a good area where his weaknesses are. Here's the part that makes it tough. His areas that you need to stab first are right behind each of those electric spines. So you can see kind of the issue with that, considering he's underwater.
Yes.
So I can't swim that deep, obviously. And look, the arrows are still there. I love that effect. They're still judging me.
And yet the one you shot your girlfriend with disintegrated.
Into black mist.
Into black mist.
Aggro stood in the corner with his mouth agape. I yell his name, just like, damn it, why'd you do this?
This is your fault.
You didn't tell me it was a fish, you asshole.
You've got no one to blame but yourself.
I don't need your advice anymore, horse. Not since last time.
I heard it gurgle. Did that one work?
It tends to respawn because, honestly, the feel that I get from this one that it's curious about me. Not in a dangerous way. Obviously, it doesn't have a mouth, but it has this sense of being curious about who I am. Which makes it even worse that I have to stab him.
Imagine if you could be friends. You could take down all the other Colossi with it.
As long as I tracked all the Colossi to the lake. This makes me flinch, because look how close he's getting, like, shit. And see, that you'll actually see an effect, because now it's really close to the surface. You can see the electric tickle the top of the water like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually came on the water, and I missed my chance there. But my point of this is that I need to be able to play on his curiosity here and hope he gets his tail out of the water enough that I can grab him. But it's, as I mentioned, a waiting game. I have to look delicious. I gotta think delicious.
What would be delicious to a sea dragon? I know, a horse. Aggro, come here.
Backflips off the cliff edge. Did you call me? Splash.
I can't swim. Okay, that's perfect. Just keep flopping around like that.
Keep looking desperate. And see, that hurt. That hurt. Alright, but I'm in a good place here. To grab on. And we go swimming. Bad thing when you're underwater is you have no ability to move. So you just gotta hold on until he surfaces so you can actually run across his body. As I mentioned, I need to go stab those spines so he doesn't shock the hell out of me. So we're gonna wait. This one's a whole different challenge from the bird one. While it was still that difficulty of reaching it, this one has the hazard, it has the fact that he doesn't leave himself open that often.
The fact that you can't breathe underwater.
The fact that I wish I didn't, I had gills along with lungs. But this is a good opportunity because as you walk up, you'll see the glowing point that you need to stab him up. But you gotta do it really quick, or you'll shock the shit out of you. If I did that 1 second later, he would have shocked me and I probably would have let go. Now, there is one kind of annoying element of the realism, because sometimes, sometimes you can obviously see that my character tumbles around like a newborn cat. That can be a pain in the ass when you want to try to do things quick in this game. So far, so easy, though.
That bloodstream looked like it was shooting right into your nads.
I'd love to see an ink stain right there on his crotch the whole time. So, this is how you know this character, the monster's a little smart. You can see it looking at me. And it also goes, how long can you breathe, motherfucker? So if you keep on hanging on, he will actually drown you. So now we gotta play that damn game again. Wait for him to surface. So they only give you now, as I mentioned, speedrun is a possibility with every Colossus. You could imagine with this one to be a little bit difficult. I don't have too much control over making this a fast excursion. Plus, God, how unathletic is my character? Why does he swim like that? My horse probably swims better than me, to be honest.
You should be the delicious bait.
Agro's just laying on his back, floating in the water, going like, "This is fun."
What's that? It tickles.
Electroshock therapy. I like this feeling of the surface, though, where, you know, water a lot of times is done completely wrong in games of this nature, but you can see him, but just ever so slightly, and it has this kind of mosaic look to it. Just makes it look really awesome when he's underwater. But it also makes it look weirder when I'm drowning. But see, the kind of crappy part of this is obviously, although the shock parts aren't there on his back anymore, I gotta start all the way back at the tail again to get towards his head.
I can see where the tedium is in this now.
And odd enough, this is not the most tedious Colossus to battle. There's one that beats this hands down. And also, that's cool, you can actually see the seaweed attached to its, like, horns there. And you can also see how it gets affected in the water. I love those little elemental effects like that, even if it's just really subtle stuff like that. And don't I just feel like a dick that I'm stabbing this thing? Because it has yet to do anything threatening. This is like me going to SeaWorld. That beluga looked at me.
We're going to fuck up Shamu.
I'd love to see a cosplay of Wander go to an actual convention and jump on people and try to stab them.
Just using like a baseball bat.
Just a wiffle bat. Boom, 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 boom. Damn it! And I was like, I can escape shock. No, I can't.
I mean, I was planning to go as Liquid Snake.
But this would be a lot more fun.
And dickish.
Yep. See, this is where he starts to get really annoyed. He's like, wait a minute, you're stabbing me.
I'm gonna know I've lost control of an essential part of my body.
I feel really bad at this point, because he looks like he's in pain. And I'm just stabbing the living hell out of him. This game's actually kind of perfect for me, because I have a way of as making bad guys innocent.
Yeah.
And they really do deserve it this time.
Ooh.
Because
I like the timing on that one. Looked really cinematic as it was dipping back down.
You gotta play it pretty close, because if you don't stab right in time, you'll lose your chance. And in this case, just watch this poor guy moan his last moan. I felt really shitty after this. But, well, that's different. It's gonna take a while for him to go down there, so guess I don't have to worry about those tentacle things. Just gotta find my horse.
You just hear him in death try and swim away from these, you jerk.
I guess I'm not gonna get possessed this time. Different twist. Just gotta go back to the level, I guess. Beautiful swimming. Okay, no. They just waited way, way late. I can't get you down there! Oh shit, he's drowning.
You're on your own, as always.
He's riding on the back of that flying Colossus. Are you alright?
It looked like it hurt. Is that what you've been doing all this time?
Why have you been killing my friends?
We could turn them into our army. Fuck that girl.
There are a lot of girls out there. You don't need to kill all these awesome beasts. You could rule the world. One thing I don't get is, you know, they are big and some of them do fly. I could imagine the bird one could just fly out of that territory. If you really wanted to.
Huh.
Now, one point I would like to would have seen, and this is, I don't feel like this is spoiling because it doesn't actually happen. I'd like to see two Colossus in the same place. How do they interact with one another? Would they try to kill each other? Would they be friends?
They all do look fairly similar in design.
It can't tell, at least in the sense, and it's something that is the mystery of the game. Are they some kind of artificial construct made by something, or are they actual beasts that maybe have been possessed by something that causes them to turn into that? Or, as I said, they could be just formations of the earth that came out like that. Um, but the only thing that at least is making sense so far is that Dorman wants them dead, so you'd have to assume there's some kind of enemy of some sort.
And Dorman is nothing if not trustworthy.
I know. I'm going to revive your girlfriend. You just have to kill these things. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Tentacle, stab, pass out. That, I guess, but...
How are you going to get me out of this water?
That's our horse's job, not mine. You're an asshole.
The weird thing is, the first image I had in my head as you were drowning was the horse riding one of those Da Vinci helicopters, just riding up like, are you all right? Sorry, while you were fighting this thing, I had to build this.
You could use it next time. I need a break.
I was going to bring you some water, but obviously you don't need that. I would still like he brought a bucket of water and spilt it right on top of the lake. There you go. My job is done.
I love that horse.
Turning a generic black horse into a crazy yet somehow resourceful character.
I don't know if I've mentioned... I probably mentioned it in like the original post, but we recorded these first 7 before I've started the thread. If I don't see some fan art from you fuckers, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Yeah, me too.
We are giving you all these ideas.
Horse on a Da Vinci helicopter? I mean, come on.
Helicopter. Just aggro in general. We need pictures of aggro.
Him jumping into the lake with, like, water wingies on. But because he's a horse, he floats upside down. In hindsight, this was a bad idea.
He's extra gurgly.
I brought you a sack of lunch.
It's wet now, but still. So am I.
It just starts crying. Oh. Why do you sound like Mr. Ed?
It's the only horse voice I know.
I know.
I'm not gonna voice him like this.
I know we already had enough horses like that. Which is weird to say.
The one, which is
Yep.
frankly enough.
I also like the original idea of the horse falling off the bridge and killing one of the Colossus on the way down. I kind of want to see the scene like Lord of the Rings with Gandalf, where he's hanging off the ledge and goes, "Fly, you fools," and starts fighting a Colossus falling down a cliff. But yeah, if you don't tell, Wanderer is kind of boring.
Yeah.
Not much to him.
Just kind of flops around.
His one floppy arm. I don't know what's up with that arm. I don't know. I want to try running like that, and I'll report back to you to see how comfortable that is. It doesn't look much.
Part 8.
Part 8, arm flopping.
Oh, before I forget, when the tentacles catch up to you, is the animation that Wander does the same animation as if you were to just straight up die?
Dying animation is a bit different.
Because I thought that was just the regular animation, but when it came up to you, it looked a lot like Wander was drowning in this one.
Or just passed out in the water. But it's still, the thing is, even in the game itself, it's never explained exactly how you get back to the temple. So possibility-wise, you could have died and been brought back to life or something like that. I mean, obviously, Dorman is not of this world, so it's possible. I revived you 15 times, but I can't revive this girl except if you do these.
I can't kill these shits.
Oh yeah, he has to talk like Macho Man Randy Savage and rhyme. I forgot. It's very clear that this lady you hold dear. Please shut up. Who do I kill? There's a snake underwater. I can't rhyme.
Go kill these guys!
Oh yeah.
With the glowy eyes!
I'm leaving.
Sever the head! Let him dead! That's not even clever. Just...
Come on, aggro. What? I'm 8 shots down. Nice.
What?
I just imagine him at the bar, like 8 shots down. Plus, imagine him drinking shots with a hoof. It's a weird image because I either imagine him just putting his mouth around the glass and shotting it, or just the hoof magically sticking to the glass and taking the shot.
Or just puts it in mouth and eats the glass.
Sorry, I'm doing a body shot off your girlfriend.
Better than cocaine, you told me to cut down.
Especially if that's how she died. Whoops.
Should we tell that to Dorman? Might be important information.
She might go through withdrawal.
Maybe Wander's on something. That's why he's hearing aggro talk.
Possibly.
And that's why his arm doesn't work. It's numb from drug use.
Maybe he's not. Maybe this is just a whole euphemism of someone's getting over drugs and imagining them killing Colossus.
His girlfriend's not dead. He is.
Yep. If you're storing this line, then baby, you're doing fine. You're not helping, Dorman.
But this new line is mine.
You see this pile of cocaine on the floor of the temple just get sucked up into that light.
Oh yeah!
I can't feel my toes. Oh no!
I'm having toes.
Can't feel my toes because I don't have toes. That doesn't count as rhyming. I'm really high.
This is what the Straw Hat Noah has been reduced to. Drug jokes.
Drug jokes about the Macho Man Randy Savage and a horse that can invent Leonardo da Vinci helicopters while getting drunk.
Are we going uphill or downhill? I can't tell anymore.
We've always been kind of that mid-ground of being highbrow and lowbrow at the same time.
We're like the dynamic range of an orchestra.
Pretty much.
We go all the way up and all the way down.
We could somehow fit into one sentence Pavlov's conditioning, motherfucker, and it somehow works. Someone will listen back going like, this is ridiculous. Including us.
Yeah, I'm thinking it right now.
Anyway, that's it for 7.
How long did that take?
Long enough. Long enough.